Perry, a small town in Iowa in Dallas County with a population of almost 8,000. They're known for a business that promotes networking, economic development, and promotional activities of their hometown called the Perry Area Chamber of Commerce. Perry, Iowa has 5 different parks, one of them being a dog park, but their most well-known park is the Caboose Park, which is a trailhead of the Raccoon River Valley Recreation Trail. Just like any small town in the US, they value the history of their city and are close-minded on other values and social cues that aren't theirs. So nothing to write home about, just like any small town. However, the start of the new year for 2024 didn't go well. In fact, a tragic event would change the town of Perry forever. The worst part, as I am recently talking about this, is that it's still a fresh wound on the families of 2 victims that were tragically taken away forever. I'm here to talk about the tragedy of the Perry Middle School and High School shooting.
Multiple law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, are responding to a shooting at a high school in Perry, Iowa, where officials say at least 1 victim has been killed and 2 more injured. FBI, ATF, and medical staff are on site, and a city official tells ABC News City Hall is on lockdown as a precaution.
I first woke up and I just saw all the sirens, everything, and then I got a call from my younger brother saying that there was a shooting at the school, and my father was just dropping them off right before it happened, so they pulled up and then saw the students running out. And so they just decided to just get out of there because obviously something wasn't right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seth told me that they pulled up to the school approximately at 7:35. We know from police and investigators that the first call for help came in at 7:37.
I just know he got grazed by a bullet. That's all I know. I just found out. I didn't know.
Is this your son?
No, it's my stepson, basically.
Your stepson? Okay. Did he show you the wound?
He did. He just showed it to me. I just saw it, and it started bleeding again, and we just want to get him checked out.
Okay, and you must be, this is a nightmare, right?
It is absolutely a nightmare. This is absolutely horrible. I'm sorry. I'm just really upset.
That's okay. I'm going to leave you alone. Okay, can I?
On January 4th, 2024, the students, teachers, and other authority figures of the Perry High School started off the morning like any other day at the school, just a couple days after everyone came back from the school's winter vacation to start the new year. Unfortunately, that day changed for the worse before the school would start classes. 17-year-old student Dylan Butler grabbed his pump-action shotgun and a small caliber handgun and shot and killed 11-year-old Ahmir Jolliff, a student at the Perry Middle School that's also connected to the high school. Butler also wounded 7 others, including 4 students and 3 staff members before killing himself after police were looking for him. One of the school staff members was the school principal, Dan Marburger. After the shooting, all the injured victims were sent to a Des Moines hospital for intensive care. As far as we know now, only one of the 7 injured victims has died. On January 14th, 2024, the school principal, Dan Marburger, was pronounced dead after 10 days of the shooting. A public funeral service for Ahmir Jolliff was held on January 12th, days after the shooting. Jolliff was described as being a joyful boy who loved to play soccer, video games, and singing. His mother used to call him Smiley around his house with photos of him smiling. Other parents and students of the Perry Middle School also described the boy as a joy to be around, brought kindness towards others, and didn't waste time getting mad at others. Ahmir's father is living in Israel. He said that he is still trying to grasp how and why this tragedy happened to his son, and has said that he would never have thought his son died in school.
He was my best friend. Really. He was always funny, and he was the only one there who actually never gave up between anything. He was always there for everybody.
Fauch says Ahmir, who he calls a star, was a model of selflessness, even in the way he played with other kids.
He used to leave toys out, in the front and allow them, the friends, to come and play, and the ones that didn't have toys, he would give to them and allow them to take it home.
Fauch says he's been living in Israel for the last 7 years and hasn't seen Ahmir since this picture was taken at the pool 5 years ago. Ahmir was one of 2 kids Fauch had with his first wife, Erica. Fauch said he got the news of Ahmir's death Friday afternoon when Ahmir's mother told him what happened.
I never encountered anything like this in my life. It's overwhelming. It's hard for me to take in.
He says living amidst the war in Israel, the shooting in Iowa was the last thing he expected to hear about.
The principal, Dan Marburger, was described as a hero for trying to save others during the shooting and spared himself after working for the Perry School District for 25 years. His funeral was held on January 20th. His family set up a GoFundMe while he was still in the hospital for medical care, but after his death, they decided to use the money for a charity. As for the suspect, Dylan Butler, police so far have said that there was no motive for why the suspect caused this crime to be committed. Authorities believe that the suspect acted alone while using the firearms. Dylan Butler's parents, Jack and Aaron Butler, made a statement by their attorney at the office of Mark Powell said this: "As the minutes and hours have passed since the horrors our son Dylan inflicted on the victims, the Perry School, and the community, we have been trying to make sense out of the senseless. We are simply devastated, and our grief for the deceased, his family, the wounded, and their families is immeasurable. When we dropped off our son for school on January 4th, we had no inkling he intended the horrible violence he was about to inflict. On the way to school, Dylan had been discussing with us of future plans, and it felt like he was ready to get back to school after Christmas vacation and the start for a new semester. Dylan's sister, our daughter, was in the school at the time of the shooting. We simply do not understand how this could happen and why Dylan chose to do what he did. Perry is our home and beloved community. We would never wish the harm and pain that Dylan's actions caused on anyone, and we could not have imagined that Dylan would carry out such a heinous act. Our family has to mourn and bury our son and live with this terrible legacy. We cannot repay the grace we have been shown in public and private. We are helping authorities and will continue to help to provide answers to the question of why our son committed this senseless crime. Through God's grace, we hope the answers can be found and that those answers will prevent other young people from harming others. At this time, our family will have no further comment." In my opinion, this is so preventable, just like any other shooting that's happened. I don't want to speculate any rumors because I don't know the suspect or his family, but it sounds like to me that his family was very naive about whether or not Dylan was struggling with his mental health and didn't know what to do. I'm not saying this as an excuse to why Dylan committed this crime. It's just part of an explanation why he might have done this. Now, this is really controversial for me to point this out, but what people don't really talk about is that a lot of small towns don't have access to mental health care like most cities do. And I believe if more small towns like Perry could at least talk about it more instead of brushing it off the rug, I think Dylan wouldn't have done what he's done and everyone else would still be okay, and 2 of the wounded victims would also still be alive. Again, it's not an excuse, it's just an explanation why this happened. I would like to also mention that Dylan was known to be a trans activist from what I heard, but that doesn't mean all activists are going to be violent to spread their political views and their word out to others. My other question is, where did Dylan get the firearms from? I know it might be easier to answer that question if you live in a big city from where I'm from, like gangs, neglectful parents with weapons, or others they know with a criminal past, but this happened in a small town. I don't know if one of Dylan's family members, especially his parents, are the ones that own the firearms or has a friend that lent him those weapons, but that's just a theory. The police haven't said anything else besides his lack of motive, and the guns he used in the shooting, I hope this gets investigated more. But to be honest, as an Iowan citizen myself, most of the criminal cases are usually a case closed right away after they find the information they get immediately. Thank you all for watching. Now that I'm off script, I want to just also mention that more than likely this video is going to be age restricted by YouTube's guideline because I mentioned the one word that YouTube does not like to hear, and I'm gonna still share this video everywhere besides just my Patreon. I just want to let this out that no matter what you're going through, please get help. Do not go straight to violence, and I hope everyone's having a good day. I know this was a far more serious video I put out, but this is something that needs to be talked about, and this was like literally the first shooting to start off 2024, and this happened in my home state. I'm not sure. This is still shocking to me that this even happened, but it still needs to be talked about because this is a serious issue that America has when it comes to shootings and the Second Amendment. And I'm not going to go into all that because this is more for the two victims that unfortunately have died. Now, thankfully, the rest of the people that were shot are okay as far as we know, but it's still a tragedy that should have never happened. Thank you all for watching. If you want to look at the sources where I got all of it from, I actually have a Google document where it shows my script and the sources. It's a 4-page document. I hope you guys get a good read out of it if you don't want to hear my commentary. Thank you all for watching, and I hope everyone is having a great day so far. I left all the links down in the description below for everything else. Thank you all, and have a good day.